Ahead and call this evening's meeting to order for Chambersburg School Board, Tuesday, November 12th, our regular meeting. Please rise and join me with the Pledge of Allegiance and a moment of silence. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Prior to calling the meeting to order this evening, the board met in executive session, discuss litigation matters. Okay. We need approval to adopt tonight's agenda, please. Motion and second, item 2.03.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Haydick, second by Dr. Diller. Additions, deletions, questions on tonight's agenda? Okay, hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Ayes have it, so moved. 3.01, Superintendent's Report.
Yep. I'd like to thank all the veterans for their service from Monday. It was great to see. I didn't get to the parade, but I know our band was at the parade, and it was a wonderful experience there. Again, thanks to all the veterans for your service. We did have about 32 people last night at our third public forum. That was our third to date, with one more to go on December 9th here in the boardroom. Will be our final forum around the changes in the district to come. And then we are working on a follow-up survey just to see where people are overall with their satisfaction with moving forward with that plan, to just give more feedback from the board, from the masses. Just one other item of note, the Future Ready Index was released today, and Mr. Widman, when he returns, will provide an academic report. As promised twice a year, this will be one of the reports where he'll go over the academic performance of the district. And then last item for me is video streaming will start in December per the board's request from our last meeting. So we should have something up on the 3rd and or the 10th to get that completed for you all. End of report.
Thank you, Chris. Item 3.02, President's Report. I just want to take a moment and reflect on our discussion and board meeting last week. I've been thinking about it a lot. I thought it was a very good meeting. Loved the discussion. I think we all got a lot of information, including the public. And my one takeaway that I thought of, and we have time for this, but you know, I've been using the term heavy lift. I've been using that term for over a year, telling everybody we have a heavy lift in front of us. I think we need a new name, and I don't know what that is. But because what we are doing is we are making an investment. And I don't want to sound like a politician, but I'm going to take a page out of corporate America instead. But anytime I think any entity is going to take on a $175 million investment, I think it ought to have a name, a slogan, or a purpose or something. From a corporate world, we would call that branding. We need to brand this investment because that's really what it is. So just a thought to throw a seed out there for everyone, how we would, if we want to, and then how we would brand this investment. Because me calling it a heavy lift just doesn't sound like it does it justice. And so a little bit more on the meeting. I think there's a lot of meat out there that, was all pulled together last meeting, and now we'll continue to bring all these smaller pieces together and continue the discussion. And just once again, thank Chris for his leadership, the forums, our meeting last week, and all these other processes here over the next, not just months, years, to bring this thing to a culmination in, 4 years?
Yep.
So 4 or 5 years. So just appreciate the board, appreciate Chris's leadership, and keep this momentum going. Item 3.03, JROTC report and Distinguished Unit Award recognition. That's right, this is a JROTC. We need to call it a JROTC briefing, not a report.
There's a difference. There's a switch there, hopefully.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Cadet Setut, the new Public Affairs Officer, and this is Cadet Kiefer Finney, the 7th Platoon Commander, and she will be assisting me in presenting these slides tonight. Okay, next slide. To wrap up September, we participated in the homecoming parade on September 25th. We had 2 cadets carry our banner, the color guard marching behind them, and the rest of the drill team marching in a platoon doing the unarmed regulation card. Next slide. Annually, American Legion Post 46 sponsored Cassius cadets at Keystone Boys State, Keystone Girls State, State Police Youth Week. This year, they sponsored 13 cadets. These cadets and their families were recognized by the post commander at a special dinner on October 2nd. Each cadet shared a short remarks on what they learned during their leadership camp experience. Next slide. The 4th year JRTC Cadets Leadership Development Trip reinforced JRTC curriculums by touring historic sites in Philadelphia by spending a night aboard the USS New Jersey. They visit Independence Hall, the Liberty Bell, and the Independence Seaport Museum, touring the USS Olympia and the USS Bakuna. The culmination is a hands-on sailor experience sleeping about the WWII battleship. The trip emphasized citizenship and leadership and included a run up the rocky steps and stop for cheesecakes. Next slide.
With or without cheese whiz?
The Veterans Recognition Nights on October 11 honored military veterans during the Trojan football game. Veterans and their guests enjoyed a complimentary dinner. Lieutenant Colonel Andrew Hawkins officiated the coin toss, and the halftime show featured performance by the school band and Navy Junior ROTC. Cadets carrying the flags. Many cadets from the company displayed a large USA flag, while a selected few carried the service flag onto the field, and cadets also distributed body poppies and as symbol of remembrance, and veterans received recognition from the crowd. Next slide. Cadets serve over 600 chicken dinners as part of their annual fundraiser with Soul Smoke Barbecue in Fayetteville. This annual event is one of the largest fundraisers of the year. Next slide. Now I'm passing the mic to Cadet Kiefer Finney.
On October 19th, the Cassius NJROTC orienteering team competed at French Creek State Park, earning 2nd place in the Area 3 Orienteering Championship. This achievement qualified us for the Orienteering National Championship in Birmingham, Alabama. The team prepared for this event by conducting training exercises at Kings Gap Environmental Center and Colonel Denning State Park. Next slide. The Shippensburg University ROTC trip. On October 16th, cadets from the Chambersburg NJROTC visited Shippensburg University for an event that was hosted by their Army ROTC. They attended a presentation on academic opportunities and learned about their ROTC program. The group participated in upper body strength exercises, a lunch, and then they were given a tour of the campus. We were joined by SHIP, by ONJ Roberts, Boyerstown, and Elizabethtown JRTC units. Next slide. The Gaithersburg Drill Competition. On October 26, 2024, the Cassius NJRTC excelled at their first drill meet of the year in Gaithersburg, Maryland, winning 13 trophies. The 13 trophies included the first place overall, the first place armed and unarmed drill, regulation, and exhibition, first place in color guard and 2 of the physical training events, second place in inspection and the relay physical fitness event, and 3rd place in academics. Trunk or treat. On October 29th, the Cassius NJRTC cadets, Ashley, Hercules, and myself participated in a trunk or treat event at the high school. Dressed in our costumes, we distributed candies to children and their families. Additionally, 6 cadets assisted with the American Legion Trunk or Treat event as well. The Academic Team Quiz Bowl. On October 30th, the Cassius NJRTC Academic Team held an online quiz bowl competition with several JRTC units. Cadets who contributed questions or participated will receive the Academic Team Poster Ribbon for their commitment to academic excellence and teamwork. Cumberland Valley Veterans Breakfast. The cadets were invited by the State Representative Barb Gleim to provide a color guard for the annual recognition of veterans at the U.S. Army Heritage and Education Center. 18 cadets participated in the event and then explored the indoor and outdoor educational displays on November 1st. That is the end of our presentation.
If I could at this point, Mr. Bigger, Mr. Norcross, if you could come up front, Lieutenant Hicks and the company staff, please come up forward. Lieutenant Hicks has a presentation to make on behalf of Naval Service Training Command. So go ahead down in the center where, I think that, is this camera live streamed or just audio?
It is just audio.
Just audio, oh, okay. All right. This is a letter from the Commander, Naval Service Training Command, Bruce Dolan, Director of Citizenship Development, to the Principal of Chambersburg Area Senior High School. It is with great pleasure that I forward the enclosed certificate and pennant designating Chambersburg Area Senior High School as a distinguished unit with honors for the 2024-2025 school year. The highly regarded distinction is made in recognition of the outstanding support provided by your school and the overall achievement of your Navy Junior ROTC program during the 2023-2024 school year. The Distinguished Unit with Honors designation is awarded annually to schools whose NJRT programs rank in the top 20% in each NJROTC area. Competing units are ranked according to the degree of excellence attained in administration, academic performance, military proficiency, and host school support. This award also designates you as a Naval Honor School. As the administrative head of the Naval Honor School, you are authorized to nominate 3 eligible cadets for admission to the United States Naval Academy, 3 to the Military Academy, and 3 to the U.S. Air Force Academy. Information and applications available from their respective websites. I would like to thank you and the members of your faculty and your administration for the outstanding support you have given the NJROTC program. I know that you are very proud of the success achieved by your school's unit. It is clear that you share the expectations and encourage their excellence. And I would like to add that Cadet Hollinshead is one of the 3 cadets that I have nominated for the Naval Academy for this coming academic year. So the rest of the cadets, would you mind getting up there quick for one quick group photo? And then we can turn the business back over.
I think we're in one and we're out of one.
Oh, you got it?
Yeah.
Oh,
whatever.
And then I think Lieutenant Hicks had one additional announcement she wanted to make.
If you haven't, you should have heard her speak after our competition. It was pretty intense. So we're not going to be as loud here tonight, but feel free to add it.
Okay, good evening. Look, Bruce doesn't like for me to talk, even though he said he wanted me to make an announcement. I love to talk. So, before I say most outstanding unit, Chambersburg is that unit.
We're your favorite, right?
Yeah, I can't say that. I can't say that on camera. But you guys are my favorite.
Chris and I can say that.
Yes, we can.
I mean, I just get emotional when I am in you all's presence, and I say that because I was telling Commander Apcar tonight, when I took on the school in Atlanta, the school was on probation. They were about to lose the program. I packed me and my son up. We relocated from North Carolina to Georgia. So I took a job with a school that they was getting ready to take the program. But the school board had no idea what NJROTC even stood for. So I was telling him for my first 10 months on the job, I went to the school board meeting every month. You know, and I stayed until midnight to fight to get the program recognized. But they are a distinguished unit now. And, you know, the kids, I always say the cadets helped to keep the program in the school, and they helped to make me a better person. They helped build me to become the first female area manager, and to see that that tradition is carried on here, and you guys carry it in your heart. Cadets, you guys make me proud. You are doing things now, public speaking, shake it off, it gets better, okay? But just being able to do that, present yourself, read publicly, aloud is just awesome. So with that being said, Chambersburg is also most outstanding unit for the new Area 3. And when I tell you, they are doing you guys proud. Orienteering, they are going to nationals, and I expect for them to be the team that goes for drill. So they're putting you guys on the map. They're making me look good. I love it. I love the cadets. Thanks for having me out. And once again, round of applause to all the cadets. And thanks for having me out tonight.
Mr. Norcross, may I say, I appreciate so much their color guard being at our church this past Sunday when we recognized veterans, and they did a superb job as a color guard.
And I would just like to add that I was at the Veterans Day Parade, and between the band and all of you, you made the parade because you were at the beginning, and it was a very short parade, but I was so proud to see you guys, girls, coming down through there, and also the band looked phenomenal as well. They had their flags, red, white, and blue, and it was really nice to see. So thank you for the time you take in putting into this. It's wonderful.
Yeah, I'd like to say something. I pay real particular close attention to the unit because I'm a veteran, and I know the Master Sergeant. I'm a former Marine. He has a lot of influence, and I'm so overwhelmed by your success rate. I've looked at all your first, second places, and the fact that in April, I believe you're going down to Robertsdale, Alabama, and do a week-long orienteering thing, taking 12 cadets, $12,000. It's not costing the district 1 cent. Stay here, grow, and I'll hope to hear soon how opening up the program to other students that aren't here in the district will make the program so much better. And I heard the young lady who gave the presentation today at the Pass and Review. I know you inspire this whole gang, and thank you so much for what you do.
To kind of piggyback off that, I was at a meeting, and I guess that since you have opened it up, you now have the first ever from Tuscarora School District that has joined, and they are over the moon about it. The district itself is over the moon, and that cadet specifically is having a wonderful time, and they're very thankful that you guys opened up space for some other districts here in the county. So thank you very much. Keep up the good work.
And I did say no to a third teacher right now until we get things solidified, because everybody wants to send more. I said, hold on until we get a year or two under your belt. So I hope that was okay for me to say that for you.
And I probably owe you a report probably by January on where this is.
Yep, sounds good.
Great. Okay, thank you, and congratulations to Commander Apgar and all your cadets. Thank you. Student,
Yeah.
I do want to add one fun fact to your presentation, your briefing, excuse me. When Lieutenant Colonel Harkins, I can call him Andy, but in addition to being a Cassius graduate, his mother is a retiree from the district. I believe his mother taught at Scotland Elementary School. But anyway, so yeah, his dad, or his grandmother, excuse me, his grandmother's retired. No, his mother. His mother's retired Scotland Elementary teacher, and his grandfather was a Vietnam War veteran as well. So lots of connections. Student government reports. Who's going first? Magnet School or Cassius goes first? Okay.
Hi everybody, my name is Carly Skoltedi, and I'm our president of student government. Next slide, please. Next slide. After that, sorry. Okay, trunk or treat. So on October 29th, the Cassius IB program again hosted the trunk or treat for the community. About 20 trunks were set up to hand out candy for 1,200 people of the community. In addition, the IBDP students hosted a bake sale that raised $275 for Monarch's Way. Next slide, please. Tomorrow, our student government will be going on a field trip. 25 members of the Cashew student government will travel to the PA State Capitol building and receive a tour, meet with Representative Kaufman, and observe a session of the PA House of Representatives. Afterwards, they will tour an Army Heritage Trail in Carlisle. And that's all I have for today. So, any questions?
That's great.
No? Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, and then I'm going to do the CMS board presentation. I'm the CMS vice president. We have two co-presidents, and both of them are sick. So I got recruited for tonight. Our presentation isn't working, so I'm just going to have to read off my iPad, so I apologize for that. Since the October meeting, we have started a hydroponics team. Our AP US history went onto a field trip, and then we've done an NHS fundraiser that was very successful. The club activities that we've been up to was a kind of combination between the science club and the hydroponics team, and they grew hydroponic lettuce indoors, and then they sold it. And then our AP US history class went to the federal courthouse. And then we also had our NHS fundraiser, which was cookie dough and coffee sales with the butcher shop. And I know we did pretty well with that, since my sister, who's the president of SSB, is also on NHS, and she told me we did very, very well with that. And then looking forward to November, December, kind of like the later months of this year, we have holiday events and a Gettysburg field trip coming up. So some of the holiday events are, we always plan kind of like a holiday fun day right before we go on spring break, since we don't have like color day or anything like that, or winter break, since we don't have like color day or anything that Cassius has. So we kind of spend the entire half day before we go on break doing fun holiday things. We set up fundraisers for different clubs where they can sell whatever they want. I know we do a big hump day cafe for SSB, which sells like coffee and donuts and stuff like that. And then some other clubs will set up like chocolate dipped pretzels and cupcakes so that they can help make money, and all the kids are hungry right before the holidays, so they're buying stuff, and it ends up going really well. And then we also formed a holiday committee through the school, and then we kind of think of fun holiday activities. So we always do like a door decorating competition in which all the homerooms get to decorate a door based off their mentor period, and then at the end, right before, we judge the doors, and then the winner gets like a free ticket to the Hump Day Cafe or something. And then we also have our 9th grade Gettysburg field trip, which is going to be the early American history class for history, and they're going to go to Gettysburg and get to tour Gettysburg and the battleground. But other than that, that's about all CMS is up to. So yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I had that microphone off the entire time. I'm so sorry, guys.
You did a good job.
Next month, you can be on camera, too. Item 5.01, members of the audience are invited to comment on agenda items. We have one who has signed in with a comment, but don't worry, if you did not sign in and you still wish to speak, we'll certainly give you an opportunity. Madison Richardson is not here. Was that? That was one of the students, okay. Anyone else, any other members of the public wish to have a public comment? Okay. I should have mentioned, we're going to move on to the Section 7 consent agenda. I should have mentioned this in my president's report. A little different meeting tonight format than what we've been used to. This for the public. You know, we're having one meeting this month, one due to elections that were here on Tuesday last week, and then we did our special meeting just as a presentation, board discussion, and Wednesday or Thursday last week on our upcoming investment in education. So tonight, it's a combination committee of the whole and regular meeting. So as we go through these consent agenda items, for the board, just I'll follow the same procedure. In the 7 group, all 24 of them or 23 of them, ask the admin team if they have any specific items they wish to elaborate on or discuss in more detail. And then after that, it'd be the board members' turn to pick out any items that you have questions or discussions on. And then when we go to a vote, because we will be voting tonight, if there's any of these items that you want to vote on separately, I'll then ask if you want to pull any one item, and we're not pulling it from the agenda, we're just pulling it from the lump sum consent vote. We'll then vote on that item individually. If that makes sense to everybody. So with that, items 7.01 through 7.23. Chris and your team, any items you wish to address?
Many of the student ones would require executive session, but I do want Tammy to highlight, and Matt, 7.12, just the process you used to get to the capital project list for 2025. So if I remember correctly, in the past, it would be done through a property and supply meeting or some other committee meeting, and we have done that for you and brought this to final resolution here. So just walk them through the process.
Yeah, typically we would have done a Buildings and Grounds Committee meeting, and we would have went to a Committee of the Whole meeting and then to a general meeting for vote. This year, a little bit different. We met as an administrative team, and we laid out a combination of projects to bring to you guys all is one agenda item versus coming to the board 3 or 4 or 5 different times with multiple projects.
Thank you, Matt. The other thing I'd like to point out is that one of the projects where it says the grant commitment, you'll recall the board approved for us to apply for the facilities improvement grant. That included, I believe, a 25% match. Matt, I'm looking at you. Yeah,
that's correct.
So that would be approving those projects to be done. The other one was the Caches LED LED lights and fencing. That originally had been identified under ESSERS. We could not get that completed in time for the ESSERS allotment, so we are requesting to be able to use that. And Gary Carter's here if you have any questions about that project as well.
That was the only one I wanted to pull. Sorry. That was the only one for me to pull out and talk about separately.
I'm curious to know the Caches track. Is this time for asking questions? Can I? Mm-hmm. Okay, yeah. Caches track, how does that fit in the mix with the track at the middle school? And what is, just to raise awareness, why does the track need to be replaced at this point?
Yeah, so.
And how does that fit in the mix with the one at the middle school? Yeah.
Yeah, so as far as the one in the middle school, it's to the point where it's a significant project. Yeah. It needs new base, it needs new asphalt, it needs new synthetic surface as well. So it would be a total redo and, an estimated project cost of about $500,000. Mm-hmm. This project at the high school track, this is our only track. This is more of a maintenance project. So this is just a wash and restripe. So if you notice, the lines are fading out on the track. The track is actually holding up. The wear and tear is in good shape. So we estimate that, we can wash and reline and get another 4 to 6 years out of this track. There is one runway for the jumps that has some significant wear and tear. So this would be a resurfacing of one of the runways and wash and restripe of the track.
Sounds great.
And just from our view, North would be a part of, if we convert that to a 7-8, it would be part of that program. Wouldn't make sense to do anything now until we make a final call.
Makes sense.
That track was put in 1992.
And you're looking to redo all the bleachers in the auxiliary gym. I know they've been such that you cannot use them You know, so finally, you're tearing them down, putting new bleachers in? Just a question.
Yes, that's the scope of the project. Sean may be able to speak more to that if you would like.
Yeah, so it can be used more instead of bringing in portable bleachers for, I guess, the wrestling tournament or whatever. And I guess, are they looking to move any of the, junior varsity over there? I mean, just to help alleviate some of the wear and tear on the major gym?
Yes to all the above. For multiple years, we, in my opinion, threw money away to rent portable bleachers for about a month in the winter to support a wrestling tournament and a basketball tournament. And there's really only one company around that does that. I shopped all over the place last year looking for better deals. All roads led me back to that same company. So we did not do that. That money was not well spent, in my opinion. Yes, opening if a functional second gym opens up opportunities athletically as well as academically, clubs, team or grade level meetings, opportunities in the auxiliary gym that we currently just don't have without any seating. And a big one for me as the athletic director, it's going to help with getting our student athletes home earlier to be students. Right now with one functioning gym, especially on game nights with 6 basketball teams, a wrestling team, 3 wrestling teams, it's really tough to get games in and practices in throughout the week and have kids home before 9:30, 10 o'clock.
And girls wrestling comes to the surface now too.
That's why I said three wrestling teams as well as 6 basketball teams.
Are you looking to replace them as they are? I mean, I know it's seated, what, about 1,000 or 2,000? I mean, are you?
1236? Okay. About 1,200 seats once it's done, yes.
Thank you.
My ultimate goal is bleachers and then some cosmetics in there as well. Really, it could be another gym to be proud of, and I want our kids to walk into and take a little pride in it. Right now, it's like the shed in your backyard that you've forgotten about. So it's not a point of pride at the moment.
Can I just add too that over the winter I was in there for some youth sports and the public was dragging in chairs so we'd have somewhere to sit. And I'm thrilled that they're putting the bleachers in because, like you said, it just opens it up. So it's a wonderful gym. It needs the bleachers. But is there a way of making sure that we do the walls in there? They have like this foam around the side with holes in, and it's very embarrassing to look at. And while we're doing the bleachers, I would hope we would do the cosmetics that go with it, because then it really looks like a premier place, like you said, instead of a shed. So I hope that there will be funding to do that as well with those bleachers, because it all needs to go together.
The bleachers is the main.
It's absolutely the main thing.
Cosmetics, you're talking about some paint, some lipstick.
Yeah, we're talking about a very small amount, but it's just foam to replace can't be that expensive.
The padding around the walls is what she's referring to.
Yeah,
and actually that was dedicated to one of our former longtime PE teachers. So it's a little bit kind of embarrassing in that aspect too, that her name is up there in honor of, and it's.
Yeah, the walls are really an eyesore.
From a board view, if you remember Tammy's presentation on Thursday, about $2 million a year. We've allocated $16 million into a fund balance to fund these projects. So if at any time the board would like to go more aggressive, certainly you have to allocate some funds for us. But we're working under the $2 million annual budget number at this point.
I just have a question. You said the ESSER's funds.
Yes.
That was 2024 had to be done.
They had to be expended by the end of September of 2024. So under the ESSER's guidelines, we were allowed to offset normal general fund expenditures, which you normally are not allowed to do with federal funds, but they did allow that. And like I said, Gary and I had talked about this project. The LED and the fencing at Caches, and I'll let Gary talk a little bit more about it, but this will allow us to secure that campus. If we would have an event there, we could secure the campus. The lighting will also help. Right now, if the lights go down, it takes quite a bit of time to get them back up. So from a security standpoint, we felt it was pretty important And it's probably one of the last major projects that we had to do under security.
Am I correct? You used other projects where the ESSER's money, we didn't send money back?
We did not send money back, no. No.
Easy.
Yeah, we offset general fund expenditure, so it's going into the fund balance is where it's at, yeah. Never sent federal money back.
Well,
And-
sometimes it has to be if you don't use it.
Just a comment, in line with the investment we're making in our educational facilities and talking now also about our athletic facilities, just throw another seed out there and see if it'll grow. And it's not a new seed, but a legitimate full court press capital campaign for athletic facilities. I know Dr. Diller's familiar with it. Most of our neighboring districts have all done it, and we just continue to always do it on the taxpayer dole. I would really just throw a seed out there to explore capital campaign. I believe, my guess, and I don't know, could be dead wrong, but when it comes to sports, you can attract some pretty good contributions. I mean, I think about over at the Career Tech Center, the Practical Nursing Building, $500,000 and capital campaign. I think we're at 93% of that goal now that we raise, just small little Franklin County Career Tech Center, $500,000 for the new Practical Nursing Building. Any other questions on the consent agenda items?
Yes, I have one item I have some questions on, please. That'd be item 7.18. So as I was looking over the donations, gifts, and other things, I was curious about movie licensing. Because I see there's 11 out of 13 elementary schools that are donating about $450 to purchase a license to show movies and copyrighted movies. And I know the PTAs work really, really hard for every dollar they can put together and donate to any particular cause. First question I have is, I'm assuming that it's Buchanan and Ben Chambers aren't on this list because they've already got a license and it's still valid, hasn't expired. And then as I looked at the other 11 schools, I couldn't quite make any sense out of why Hamilton Heights, which has a pretty significant student body, right? About 500 some kids, 62 if I'm not mistaken, and the cost for that Hamilton Heights license is only $445. Fayetteville, which has a 467 student population, their bill is higher. So I'm wondering, what is the unit cost, or how is it possible that every PTA could throw money into a fund and then we can make a bulk purchase for all those licenses and save the PTA a lot of money so they could put those dollars to other uses in their particular elementary schools? I don't know how it works. I'm just curious about it all, if anybody knows.
You know more than me.
So it's per school. The movie licenses are per school, not a district. I do not know how they come up with the rates, though. I don't believe it's per student, but I can find that out for you. I looked up a website here, and I can ask questions. So other than that, it just says it's per school. It's not per district.
So it's not an opportunity for the district to say, hey, here's a place where you can put your money, PTAs, and then we'll go out and purchase and give you all. That wouldn't work.
I mean, per school, we could do that, but it's not a district fund.
And it's probably not all the same movie. I'm guessing it's different movies.
Does the district have their own movie license?
No, I wouldn't think. No, we have music licenses, but not movie licenses.
How does the district show movies?
Through PTA, through our equipment then?
So every PTA covers Okay.
Like a movie night.
Why is that why isn't that a district expense?
But it's not classroom, it's like a movie night extra.
No, it is classroom because they show movies on a regular basis.
Yeah, but that's.
In the school, I know at Stevens, we only show one movie a year, and it's not worth $400 to us. So
you're doing all your movie licensing is what you think that is?
I'm saying we're covering the district expense, I think, and I'm not sure why. But
Who's we? Who's we?
I mean, I'm talking about, I said at Stevens.
Oh, okay.
PTO member.
So why, is that what we're doing? Like, we're covering a $400?
It never comes to us for a budget request, so I wouldn't know anything else other than through PTA.
I guess I'm curious to how many movies are being even shown. I don't know. Is it Disney movies? What are they rated? I don't know.
Mr. Principal back there, Mr. Chambers.
I mean, if I can, this may not answer these questions completely. Principal at Ben Chambers for 10 years. It's a complete choice that nobody has to buy these. But if a school wants to, maybe on the day before Christmas, show some Christmas movies or things like that, they have to have that license to legally do that. The difference in price, if I remember correctly, could be, because I believe like a lot of subscriptions, other things you can purchase yearly or even like a 3-year or 5-year, like I think you can. So I think that may be where the difference in price is, not 100%, but I believe Ben Chambers used to purchase, our PTO used to do, I want to say at least a 3-year license maybe, and maybe even 5, but so we would pay a lot more one time, but then we would have the license for obviously a little bit longer. As far as, how many movies are shown, that's, again, there's no standard for that. It's whatever building decides to do what with it when they choose.
So the expense primarily is covering what's happening in the classroom, and the PTAs and PTOs are just covering that.
It's not an educational activity, it's a social activity.
Okay.
I was gonna ask, what's, from one of the educational leaders in the room, what movies are we showing as far as education? But it's not education, it's more social.
Right.
Situation, or is it part of is it part of a curriculum? It's not part of a curriculum or anything.
It's a party.
Rewards.
Yeah, social rewards,
Days, end of marking period rewards.
PBIS maybe even nowadays, yeah.
Okay, other consent agenda items.
I just had a quick question on, let me see where it's at here. 7.06, the Sage Technology Solutions. I see there that it says that the project was completed after the 9/30/24 date. So is it completed as of now? Is there a projected completion date? And maybe why it wasn't completed prior to that so we could use ESSER funds if there was reasoning for that? And maybe that's more for you.
Yeah, I'll let Gary take that one.
Yeah, so it's all completed. The issue was the time frame when we actually got the bill for the additional work. This was the one that we brought to you guys, I think, in January, which was approved. Originally, the bill was supposed to be $100 and some thousand. We worked it down to the $50,000, and I'll just be blunt about it. I didn't provide the paperwork in a timely manner. No other way to put it. To the actual fiscal, so that the PO could be cut, so that they could pay it. And there's no other way to put it than I thought it was done when it was approved. It was not, and Gary Carter didn't send the paperwork in when he should have. I don't know how else to put that.
Well, I appreciate the candor, and I didn't mean to put you on the spot. I just thought maybe something happened in the meantime.
Not at all.
So.
It was that the work was done, and actually, it's not funny, but we just got an overall bill for them for the total work that was done as we're trying to finalize this, and it was about $87,000 worth of work that we're getting for $50,000.
Okay.
But the original, it was just a paperwork shuffle, and the paperwork didn't get in, the PO didn't get cut. or the quote didn't get cut for the PO. So
Okay,
that's where,
hey, it
that's where
happens to
was.
the best of us, but thank you very much for clearing that up. I appreciate
I
it.
just don't want anybody to, I'm not mincing words, that's just what happened.
A man after my own heart. Thank you very much.
On the donation forms, I do want to point out, we had a young lady from KM South who, instead of taking birthday gifts, went out to and raised funds for the library. So that was her gift. So you'll see that to the gift to the KM South Library.
That's very cool.
Yeah, very nice.
Any other items, questions on the consent agenda items 701 through 7.23? Okay, before we have a motion, are there any one of those first 23 items that a board member would like to vote on separately? Okay, hearing none, need a motion to approve items 7.01 through 7.24.
Move to approve.
Second.
Motion by Mrs. Gogler, second by Mr. Walker. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Ayes have it, and so moved. 11.01, second reading of Policy 304, Employment of District Staff. No comments, Mr. Bigger?
None.
We do need a motion and second on this, please.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Mrs. Gauss, second by Dr. Diller. Questions, comments, discussions? Hearing none. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Ayes have it, and so moved. You'll see in the information section, disposal of district equipment. We have a bus. Anyone wants a bus? Tax board meeting minutes and district enrollment summary, standard item. Meeting's adjourned. Thank you.
Thank you.